That sounds like a machine.
What's going on out there?
It literally sounds like what I think a UFO would sound like if it was abducting someone.
It sounds like multiple people chanting at the same time.
See, we need an outdoor mic
Trying to.
in this section of Endicott just to get the sounds.
Yeah, it could be...
Just run an XLR to Washington Ave and see what happens.
Right. Because you never know. It could be some crazy speakers. Or it could be the little church bazaar that goes on.
The Domino's delivery truck.
If you want to see some good entertainment on Washington Ave, I believe it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. Watch that Domino's.
Oh yeah, those are the days. Thanks for the heads up, Jerome.
Jerome hooked us up. Next time we'll bring popcorn.
We gotta have Jerome on the podcast one day.
Oh,
dude, he's a riot.
No doubt. Now the real entertainment's at the North Brewery.
Yeah,
not at the Domino's. That's just the added bonus.
Yeah.
From being at the North Brew at 9:30, late night vibes, watching that Domino's truck.
He's doing like a 36 point turn to get it.
It's just like sideways across
Washington
Ave. It's just like going slow and steady.
All right.
Right in there. Yeah.
Carmela, flowers.
Yep.
Flowers. Awesome.
How'd that make you feel?
Really, really outstanding. I think it was pressing the button. It was obviously good to like get the final mixed video and stuff to see it. I'm like, that's great. I just know that we have to figure out the copyright stuff and then, click post. So I think it was finally after all that stuff and I clicked it and I'm just like, an immediate sigh of just relief because it was such a pain in the butt to figure out all that stuff.
Getting 6 people in, well, really 7 people up
here.
Yeah,
with Troy.
Getting 7 people up here on a Sunday. Getting to learn a new song with six people playing.
We never played that song before.
Recording vocals and everything else in the room for the first time. The hardest part was posting the video.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
Mixing, editing.
No, that was a breeze. That happened in no time at all. It was just figuring out the logistics and the legality behind posting a cover video because we just simply couldn't get the information. It wasn't like we had the questions, but like no one had a video or like one article just to answer this questions that we had. So it was finding 13 different videos that could finally give us some sources to go to the proper websites, go and do our due diligence that way. Miley Cyrus gets to get a couple cents. However,
that's what it is.
However that works. The other thing is we're not even monetized. So I'm like, why does this make a difference?
It's not so much the process though. It's just the unfamiliarity with it.
Yeah, and no, the process is easy.
Right now that we know, next time it's going to be a piece of cake.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We're gonna nail it now. But it's just learning something new, creating the new accounts, putting all the information in there, watching it load. Those are the things that can make it a little bit tricky.
Well, think about it like an instrument. Like the major scale is a super easy scale, but when you don't know how to play the guitar and you're having someone try to teach you how to play the major scale, you're just like, what is this? This is impossible. And why do these notes make sense? Why are these things happening? So it's just learning something new. At the end of the day, these are the hurdles. It's there's fun behind it because that feeling that you get when you press send and like record or press post it's euphoric. It's an amazing feeling.
You just want to have a party. It's like, where's the confetti?
I know. I know. Like, but you got to be the confetti. You got to just pump yourself up after.
Yeah, we got to have a little release party.
Yeah.
A little release hang.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. The thing is recording it is like the party to me. Like it's so much fun.
It's a high.
Yeah.
It is such a high. Like you forget everything else is going on in the world. Like you forget to check your phone. You forget to check the stove. You know, it's just like such an in the moment, present experience, and being able to share it with the phenomenal musicians that we know is so it's so great. It's such a blessing.
Yeah, that's the party. That's the party. But if one of the videos blows up, we're definitely having a party.
We're definitely
having a party.
Release party.
That'd be super fun.
Help us out, y'all.
Yeah, like, comment. But definitely comment too. I think people sleep on the comments. We want some feedback.
Yo, we're definitely reading because there's not going to be a lot of comments. We know that. So
let us know what we're doing good. Let us know what we're doing bad. Like
we're definitely probably going to be responding to them as well. So please comment.
Yeah, and subscribing helps out too. So once we get, I think, to like 1,000 subscribers, we can actually get paid for all. Like, I mean, the investment that we've both made into going into all this. That 20 years of like guitar playing and however long you've been playing drums. You said you really got into drums when?
Oh boy, when I started playing I was probably about like 12 years old, 12, 13. Was interested in drums probably a couple years before that. Just listening to that sort of music, whether it was rock or jazz, R&B, the drums always stood out to me. My dad listened to a lot of jazz in the car picking me up from school, and at first, I used to hate it because it was just like, to me, I didn't appreciate the organized chaos that is jazz music. I was just like, these guys over here playing whatever, and you know, these horns are over here doing this, and the bass is up here, and the drums are not even on a beat. Then when you really like sit down, it's like, yo, this is just magical.
It's what I loved hearing about my first guitar teacher, Taze, rest in peace. He was a phenomenal jazz musician, like really phenomenal jazz musician. Absolutely. So before I knew anything about music, I was 6, 7 years old taking these guitar lessons. He would sometimes just start going and playing something random. Is probably super easy to him, but it would blow my mind, and I'm like, that doesn't even. I've never heard anything like that come out of speakers, let alone an instrument right in front of me. Right. So I thought that was really, really amazing. And even now, like you said, like as you get older, you really start to appreciate things like jazz as well. So I wish he was still around. I'd love to be able to hear some.
Yeah, I was
some stuff, man.
Fortunate enough to play with him with Caviar and Grits. You know, kind of towards the end of his life, that was so much fun. Getting to meet him at, you know...
because he's just a force, man.
Right. I couldn't imagine what it was like meeting him when you were, 6, 7 years old.
I wish I really remembered what it was like.
Because I met him when I was 22, and it was wild.
Yeah.
I remember it was like the classic formalities. You get down, hey, nice to meet you, and like, what do you do for a living? You know, and I tell him, this is what I do, and I say, you know, what about you? And he goes, well, I'm a beggar. I'm just like...
Oh man,
yeah,
it's too funny. Yeah. He would
right out of the gate. He's like, I'm gonna let you know straight up.
At least he was real,
right?
He was real.
Let you know straight up. Next time I see you at the bar, I'm gonna be asking you for a beer.
Give me a drink. Give me a drink. I will ask.
Yeah,
will ask, and I'll buy him a beer every single damn time. I don't care, as long as he plays me signs like Curtis Lowe.
Right.
Curtis Lowe.
Play me some music.
Yeah, you listen to lyrics of that song. It was very similar. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks seeing someone go through that, especially knowing what a bright light they are, like truly are. It's hard.
It is.
It's really hard. It's sad. I don't think we've ever really talked about that either.
It was nice. I remember he had just. I actually have it over there. He had just done a little CD, a little Latin CD with a group that he had that I'd gotten.
That wasn't with Tom Egan, right? I think it
could have been.
I think they did. At least I saw one video, and Tom Egan. Shout out Tom Egan. As you guys can't see right now, I'm in a wheelchair. If anyone doesn't know that, but Tom Egan runs Access Unlimited, and he builds basically a bunch of different accessible equipment for, like, say I wanted to get my van adapted so I could get my wheelchair and stuff in there. His company builds a bunch of things like that. It's basically just unbelievable technology. He showed me a video where he put hand controls inside of a Shelby GT500 that was a stick shift car. So it was like the clutch operated in a funny way, and the steer. It was unbelievable. The man's insane, and an insanely talented musician as well.
I've seen some video of him performing, and he's not just that. He's also a phenomenal dancer.
I've never seen him. Well,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe
he was over. I saw him over at Atomic Tom's,
just killing
for the Irish. St. Patrick's Day show with Caviar and Grits. And we were playing Knock It Off, which is a little bit more like a Latin vibe. Mm-hmm. And
so he's just down with the Latin music.
He is not on this. However, it was mastered over at Yellow Bike Studio. Shout out Joe Kohler. It's Joe Kohler Studio. It's
cool.
Really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. I remember he gave me this CD. He's like, "Do you want a CD?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take one." He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be $5." And I said, "Taze, I'm giving you a ride home."
Oh man, give me $5.
It was worth it. It was worth that ride home.
Love him.
It's a great CD. We'll have to listen to that later on.
Oh, that's so awesome. Look at these old pictures.
Yeah, love the original music around here. I was playing music quite a bit.
We made a whole podcast around it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because I was playing, drums for a bit, like 6-7 years ago, and then I stopped playing, and then I got back into it like around 2019, and then the pandemic happened, so music kind of like took a pause, or especially live music. Mm-hmm. So I just started to meet everybody in the scene and didn't really know them or their music, or never got a chance to see them live. So the big thing that I was doing, I was on YouTube trying to find people, and I was listening to Taze, and yeah.
So you found local people on YouTube?
Yeah, through Jeff Estes.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, like a decade or 15 years of.
He doesn't get enough recognition, man. He really does. I will always tell people about Jeff. Jeff is at every single show. It almost doesn't make sense. Like, I feel like he can just teleport to whatever show that you're at. It doesn't matter. There could be 14 shows in one day, and somehow he's like at all of them. It seems. Yeah.
He'll give you a live video, give you a little something, upload on YouTube. Yeah, it's nice. You get a little couple options with that.
I think I did tell you this, but I'll tell it anyways. But he pulls out. I put out like the first guitar video that I ever really played during the pandemic. I just played like a quick little thing. I had just like done some upgrades to this guitar, so I posted something. I'm like, God, I really like the sound of this. And he ends up DMing me. He's like, "Hey, by the way, I have a video of you playing when you were 16 years old." Just like, I don't know. So that must have been 8 years later.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I got this video of you playing at the Mad Moose, which doesn't even exist anymore." And it was with me and Moses playing together with the Polar Cats. Like, we've been doing this a while.
We'll have to drop a link to that in the description.
Yeah.
If we could figure out that description part.
I gotta find that video. That's so funny. I'll go back and look for that.
Jeff recently sent me a couple of those videos because it was like I think it was like a 10-year anniversary of that. I'll never forget. I was working at Remlix at the time, which wasn't far from the Mad Moose. If nobody's familiar with the Mad Moose and you're familiar with like the cave, that's where the Mad Moose was. So in relationship to Remlix, it was just around the block. And Liam shoots me a text message. He's like, "Yo, you should come over here and play drums. There's a drum kit, but there's no cymbals." And so I'm like, and also I live downtown, so I was also really in close proximity to my job and Mad Moose. And Zach Thompson was working there at the time. Shout out Zach Thompson, super cool dude, my favorite ginger. He was working there at the time, and he gave me a ride to my parents' house. Went home, packed up my cymbals, and then he drove me and dropped me off over at the Mad Moose, and we jammed. We did an hour-long set.
That was really cool. So just makeshift sort of thing happening there. And, of course, Jeff was there to capture that, which was really, really cool.
In the bar, 16.
Yeah, we were young. We were babies.
Straight up.
I feel like you don't see that much anymore. I feel like now I really don't see that. Every now and then we'll have, an underage crew come into Irish Kevin's, they're super.
Love that. Love when that happens.
Well, it's to do the open mic stuff. Obviously, guys, they're not just coming to.
Yeah,
they're not just at the bar. Like they're musicians that are just so happen to be young, unbelievably talented.
We always say
musicians.
how we wish we knew stuff like this was going on when we were in high school.
I mean, if it even was, like, it just didn't seem like there was.
Right.
I didn't know of any bands that were our age, and you would think that we would at least know of one if there was something happening.
And that's what we're trying to do, though. We're trying to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
We're trying to bring that together where people do know about these bands. People, whether they're out of school, in school, whether that's college, high school.
Yeah,
just know about music.
And
know about this music scene.
It's funny telling, especially like I say older people, but people who are like 40, which isn't really that old. But it's funny.
Young.
Yeah, it's funny talking to them, and I'll be like, yeah, there's like this underground punk scene, and they're like, what? Like, what are you saying? And I'm like, yeah, a punk scene that will like pack venues.
Yeah.
Not just like anything, and not only that, but these kids are respectful. They aren't drinking a ton. They're not doing drugs. Like they are just there for the music because they love it.
Do you remember the parties we were going to at that age?
There was drinking going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these kids
at
are
least.
So much just respectful of everything. Yeah. I don't think like they did a show at the Bundy, and I don't even think I saw there was no garbage. Nice. It's like these kids are just super respectful.
None of that
cool
Woodstock 99 garbage.
No, none of that.
But it's probably their kids. Right, the people that were at Woodstock 99, these are probably their kids.
Yeah.
So they probably heard all the stories. I mean the people who were those crazy, wild, lost generation 90s kids, I mean, a lot of them realized that they were those crazy kids and have grown up to become like really to raise really respectable kids. And
it'll be interesting to see what I guess what do you call them? They're not Gen Z because technically, well, yeah, they are Gen Z because we're like the first Gen Zs.
We're really the first.
We're millennials
of the millennial and the Gen Z. Yeah.
Depends on what Google thing you search.
Right,
like we're either the beginning or the end.
Right. Yeah. It's either 97 or 90 or I'm sorry, 96 or 95. It's funny. So.
But it will be very interesting to see what this next generation turns into as young adults and concert goers and see where it lies.
Dude, when I went to see Greta Van Fleet.
Yeah,
there was a lot of young people there. A lot of young people loving the music. And like you're saying with the punk scene, I think there seems to be this new interest of music, and we might be at a high point, and especially in this area. And it's good to, see how do we solidify that and bring and unite those people that aren't listening to this kind of music and not seeing it.
Well, it's the same sort of thing with, for instance, like Bobby Lou is one of the. They're kind of more hip hop. Would you say hip hop? Yeah, hip hop.
R&B, hip hop. Yeah.
So, like, they just started coming and hanging out, checking things out, and that was like a huge thing for us because we've always wanted it to be like Irish Kevin's our open mic. This is. We've always wanted it to be a place for everyone. If you want to go up there and recite a poem that you wrote, we'd love it. If you want to go up there and tell a joke, we'd love it. Like any kind of art, come up and do your thing. Like you get your time, you get your 15 minutes, whatever it is, go do it. So it's cool that Bobby Lou came and started meeting a bunch of our friends, such as I think they have like 4 guitar players now to their disposal because they wanted one song to have guitar on it. And now I really have a feeling that they're going to have a lot of guitar tracks on their upcoming songs with all the people that they've met that play guitar and want to record something cool.
They're doing it right. I mean, when you talk about community, you talk about connecting with other musicians, they are doing it right.
Yeah.
Really great to see them. They've been such a great inspiration. It's been
the kindest people too.
It's been awesome to work with them, and I hope to do more with them in the future.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get over there, throw down a couple tracks.
That'd be cool.
Lay it down, see what's up.
That'd be really awesome.
Hit us up, Edge.
Yeah.
Baby Lou, let us know what's going on.
So what else do we want to? What do we have to address? We've talked about Carmelo. We've talked about just what a pain in the butt it was to post all that sort of stuff. But
talked a little bit about playing.
Mm-hmm.
When we started playing, how we've been playing. I mean, what's next? What are we gonna be doing next?
I think it's really figuring out the podcast part of this, and making sure that we can make it as streamlined as perhaps the way that we've streamlined the process of making the actual music. Now we have to just kind of streamline the process of knowing exactly how to do this, the best way to get the camera angles, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a learning process. I mean, it's going to be very simple at first, and that's going to be fun. But keep in mind that this is only the beginning. Yeah. Right. This is only the beginning, and
it only gets better from here.
Yeah, and I guess this is really talking about what the plans are and what's next is just to continue building on what is now, and that is doing some covers, maybe doing some originals as well, creating some music videos, some content for people to actually see without needing to go to a show, along with this sort of podcast where we're interviewing the musicians that we're playing with, musicians that you can see, an opportunity for people to talk about what they're doing, talk about their shows, just like we're doing here, and just continue to support the music community as much as we possibly can.
With the original music, I always find it interesting to hear what was the song written about, where was your head when you wrote the lyrics to this particular song, and now it's like you get that opportunity to sit down with whomever and go, where did that come from?
Yeah, one thing we talk about so much, and it's on everybody's mind, is the fact that there's not a real music venue in this area. There's a couple things that are close, but there's nothing that's just like the real deal. And we've spent really probably since 2021 really talking about that and getting good shows and creating good spaces, and we're like, man, if we could do this, and if we had this, and if we had that, we would have a community, we would have a music venue, we'd be supporting artists. So we put we just put our minds together and said, listen, we've already got a space where we could support musicians right now, and that's what we're doing here. Yeah. We're finding a space to collaborate with musicians, bring in different artists together. We can't wait for everybody to see what's in store, and the library of musicians that are going to be involved with this, just like we saw in that Flowers video.
Yeah, it's a good segue too. We have a lot kind of booked in the future right now, but if you guys are interested in coming on the podcast, or any suggestions, or just toss us an idea out, if you have a cover song that you want to do, if you have an original that you want to do, let us know. Send us a link. Just continue to reach out. Can't promise any set dates right now or anything like that, but at the very least, start the conversation. You can reach out on either Our Friends Podcast on our Instagram, or Our Friends 607. We're trying to we're staying on top of those DMs as much as we can.
Yeah, and I just want to reiterate the importance of this being a community-based project. We know that it's very music forward, but this is all new for us. What we're doing here, doing this podcast, using microphones, recording, doing video and editing. So, I mean, there's other ways for you to help us out. If you want to be involved in the project, if you want to come through, see what we're doing. Obviously the social media, hitting us up through our friends, or Our Friends 607 podcast. That's going to be the best way to reach out to us, or pull up to open mic. Over at Irish Kevin's. Keep an eye out for those events, through our social media. But continuing to do that, it's a great place for when we get the opportunities to. It's tight when we're running the show there, but getting a moment to sit down and chat is always a nice time. So I mean, I just hope to continue to make connections, and make music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So here's to Our Friends Podcast. Let's roll.
We did it.
Let's roll it.
All right. See y'all.
Cut it. All right. 25 minutes.
hit the red button.